Guys, it actually snowed. Finally, winter is coming. Good morning. It is Monday morning. I have not slept all night yet. I am in a lot of pain. I've been having problems with my shoulder and collarbone area, and yesterday it kind of slid out of place and I can't really get it to go back in. I'm just putting heat on it and hoping that that will be enough. As I've said in the past, I don't really like to take pain meds and muscle relaxers. I don't like the way they affect me. I'm allergic to a lot of them. So I'm just going to try to wait it out with the heat, and if it's not back in by Tuesday, my physical therapist can put it in for me. I am going to continue to try to get some rest. I will check in with you guys later. Can we all just take a minute to rejoice in the fact that today is my last day on high-dose blood thinners, and tomorrow I get to move back down to my maintenance dose. Maybe now I will stop looking as much like a Dalmatian. My shoulder is still really hurting me, so I've been operating from bed today. But as long as I don't move it above my elbow, it's pretty okay. So I have just been sitting in bed and painting like this. I'm doing a little scene from the movie Up. Hey guys, good news! My shoulder is working again. My physical therapist was able to get it back into place, and now it's feeling so much better. After physical therapy, my mom and I went by my grandparents' house and we had a really lovely visit and chat that we just really needed to have. It's been so long since I've seen them. Now I'm just working on packing up some Etsy orders and a lovely Secret Santa gift for my Spoonie Secret Santa. I love doing stuff like this. I can't wait until she gets it. I hope that she likes everything that she gets. I just wanted to take a second to talk about dislocations with EDS. These things have become so normal to me, it's kind of just part of my everyday life, but when I was editing my last vlog, I realized that to someone who doesn't have EDS or know someone who has EDS, someone saying something like, "Oh, my shoulder just popped out, but hopefully it goes back in soon," is totally crazy. They're probably thinking, how the heck is this girl functioning? She must be lying. I have noticed that sometimes I tend to use the words dislocation, popping out, subluxation interchangeably when I should be more specific. A subluxation is a partial or incomplete dislocation. It can be a really fast in and out, or it can stay out indefinitely. For me, often the muscle spasms from the trauma of the injury keep the joint from settling back in right away. This time with my shoulder, it was a subluxation, and it also caused some rotation in my collarbone and some subluxation in my upper ribs, which partially kind of cut off the blood flow, but I did still have movement and feeling in my lower arm and hand. I just had some numbness and tingling from the nerves getting pushed on. Because EDS is a connective tissue disorder, our ligaments are very loose, and your ligaments are what hold your joints together. Because our ligaments are so loose, our joints slip in and out of place very easily and often. This does not mean that it doesn't hurt. EDS people have the same nerves and blood vessels that everybody else has, but it does mean that generally our joints are more easy to relocate. Keeping them relocated, that's a totally different issue. No matter how careful I am, the cycle of dislocation and relocation is a big part of my life. This is why I am so emphatic about the importance of physical therapy in my overall treatment. My physical therapist specializes in my condition. In fact, she's one of the leading experts in the world. Twice a week when I see her, she basically has to realign my whole body. And I tend to be especially complicated because of my spinal fusions. Spinal fusions, unfortunately, are not a cure for spinal issues in EDS patients, and it's certainly not a cure for spinal pain. It is simply a tool that we use as a last resort to protect the spinal cord, the spinal nerves, and the surrounding blood vessels from any further compression or damage. But it really comes with its own set of issues. Having such a large piece of your range of motion taken away, especially for a patient who was used to being hypermobile, it transfers a lot of motion to the surrounding areas, such as the SI joint, hips, and shoulders. For people like me who already had weakness and instability in those joints, the extra motion can often be too much for your body to handle. And because of the fusion, I'm unable to do a lot of the exercises and maneuvers that they would normally use to help stabilize those joints. So one of our main goals in my physical therapy sessions is to really focus in on those muscles that surround those joints, as well as the muscles that surround my spine, and really strengthen them so that the muscles can start to hold the joints together instead of my loose ligaments. I have done a lot of physical therapy in the past, but before finding this specific practice, I hadn't really had a lot of luck. In fact, a lot of my physical therapy sessions left me in more pain, or I ended up injuring a different joint than we were focusing on. Unfortunately, I hear similar stories from EDS people all of the time. A lot of us seem to have lost hope in physical therapy, and some people even carry around a lot of physical and emotional trauma from the experience. That is why it is so important to have a therapist that understands EDS, but unfortunately there really aren't many of them out there. The manual therapy portion of my sessions has been absolutely key to my progress, as well as treating my body as a whole instead of just a knee or a spine like I have in the past. Think about it. If you have a joint that's not even in the right place and you start doing exercise on it, number one, it's going to hurt. Number two, you're not even really going to notice any progress because you're not going to be able to properly engage and strengthen those muscles if it's not moving correctly. And number three, you're probably going to end up putting extra strain on other joints, which is obviously not good for an EDS patient. I talk to so many of you guys every single day who are just so desperate to find a therapist. I don't have the answer. And I just wish that I could bring all of you in my car with me every week. But I can't, and I'm really sorry about that, because I know that it's frustrating, and I know that you guys hear me talk about physical therapy and how much it's helping me, and you're like, yeah, right, like I tried that and it was horrible. Honestly, the thought of seeing any other physical therapist at this point is really scary for me as well. One thing I can offer is that there is a man named Kevin Muldowney. He is another therapist in Rhode Island, and his entire clinic specializes in EDS patients, and he has actually written a book with a protocol for other physical therapists to follow when they are trying to treat an EDS patient. The only reason I'm slightly hesitant to recommend his book is because I personally have never had a session with him and I have never read his book, so I can't speak from personal experience, but I have heard him give lectures, answer questions, and I have spoken to some of his patients who absolutely swear by his protocol. So if you think that you can find a physical therapist in your area who is willing to learn and willing to follow this protocol, I think it might be a really good thing for you to try. I'm definitely going to leave the link to his book down in the description, and I would absolutely love to hear if any of you end up trying it or if any of you are currently using it. Anyway, I gotta go get ready for bed. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. It is now Friday night. I had a really lovely Thanksgiving with my family yesterday. It was so nice to be able to just sit back and be thankful and be with family. Unfortunately, that did mean I was around a lot of food. So I have been paying for it a bit today with mast cell reactions, as you may be able to tell by my face. A lot of you guys have been asking lately why I wear a mask, and that is because I have something called mast cell activation syndrome. So foods, lots of different smells like perfumes, fragrances, laundry detergents, various body products, I don't know, everything seems to send my body into an allergic reaction. This is also one of the main reasons why I have to use a feeding tube. I have a special hypoallergenic formula that works for me. So if you were wondering why I wear the mask, this is why. My stomach is really swollen. I look kind of like I am 9 months pregnant. It is very painful and it's making it hard for me to breathe, but luckily I don't have any airway swelling from the reaction. It is just pressure from my swollen stomach. So I am just taking it easy tonight. I had a shower and I am going to try to rest because on Sunday my mom's side of the family is coming over to celebrate and I get to do it all again. But I could not be more excited to see them, and it's going to be totally worth it. Hopefully I am feeling a bit better tomorrow so that I can get my room clean and finish all of the things I need to finish before we have company. Today was a really special day, and I had a really great time with my family, but now I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go sleep now. Bye. Change of plans. The mast cell reaction has kicked in from being around so much food today. My reactions are a lot different than they used to be. My reaction used to be quite immediate. The second I would smell anything, even oftentimes before I could even smell something, I would lose consciousness, start shaking, not be able to breathe. Now that I have been on the protocol medications for a while, my reactions are not as strong or as immediate, which is really great. I've been able to do a lot of things I wasn't able to do before. Being around food is still a bit of an issue for me. Usually it hits me later in the day or the next day. And I just have a lot of abdominal swelling and bloating. My stomach is huge and distended. And unfortunately, it puts a lot of pressure on my stomach and on my chest under my rib cage. So I usually end up with rib pain, and today it is a nice dislocated rib, which hurts quite badly. I'm going to probably have to take some Benadryl. I usually really don't like to take Benadryl if I can get around it, because it really knocks me out. I get really bad night terrors. It messes with my heart rate, blood pressure, breathing. Sometimes you just gotta take it. And I'm starting to get, this is really gross. I'm starting to get hives. And I just really don't want this to keep progressing into any more of a reaction. So here goes nothing. What finally came in the mail? Ah, I love it so much. Look at it. I can't believe this is my artwork, like on a t-shirt tank top. It's so cute and it fits so well. This is what the back looks like. It is a racer back style. It's not like one of those shirts where the design is like super hard. Like it's like, I don't know how they do it. It's like the fabric itself is like dyed. It's so nice. This is a size small, and I am definitely a pretty small person. I wasn't sure if I should order an extra small, but I actually recommend the size small if you're about my size. The extra small I think would be too small. Maybe better for a kid. But I am just so pleased. I can't wait to wear this to physical therapy tomorrow.